All right, so Extraction 2. Personally, I haven't seen the first Extraction for years now, and it's been a minute since I've been able to sit back and enjoy just a good old fashioned beat 'em up movie. Turn your brain off and let the testosterone fueled enjoyment take over. And honestly, that's exactly what I did. Like, honestly, I was more or less interested in how he survived the more than likely lethal gunshot wound to the neck, but of course, that good old plot armor and plot convenient saves and resilience obviously wins the day. And personally, I don't mind it. The action in this movie is nothing less than incredible. It's spectacular, it's kinetic, it's fluid, it feels so natural to the human eye to watch a man wreck other men in the shits and enjoy it wholeheartedly without any real restriction. In an era of political correctness and showing men in their weakest state and the most vulnerable, it is nicely refreshing to see a movie that doesn't even try to push a political agenda. It just seeks to entertain the obviously targeted audience for this, and that being predominantly men who would enjoy this type of flick. They aren't trying to lecture you or tell you what to think when it comes to how to view the action and violence on screen. Having our lead protagonist, played by Chris Hemsworth, play the protector role once again as he did in the previous movie is honestly very much enjoyable. It sticks to the standard format that we are accustomed to when it comes to this movie franchise, and on top of that, it expands upon the characters and, more importantly, the character and the titular character that we are following, and it is a very interesting way of going about it. For the most part, the pacing of the movie could feel slow at times, especially towards the beginning, but once it gets to the general theme of the movie, the general plot, that's where things really start to kick off and really get into the, how you say, nitty gritty and the reason why we're here. I will not lie, there are some scenes specifically with, I believe, the love interest of our main protagonist, which you would need to, for lack of a better term, suspend your disbelief when it comes to her action scenes, given who she goes up against. Now, honestly, it just kind of like, I don't know, it's hard for me to ignore it. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's really hard for me to just blatantly ignore certain things that I know for a fact, no matter how skilled you are as a female combatant. If a male combatant is anywhere near as strong or as skilled or as well trained as you are, I really doubt that screaming and getting angry is going to give you a Dragon Ball Z level power up to where you could clash along with this man in particular. Honestly, like I said, some parts I can suspend my disbelief for, and other parts I'm just like, no, just no. Like, this woman barely looks like she's 90 pounds wet. I honestly don't want to hear any excuses in the comments. With Hemsworth's character, you see the training that he does to have the strength that he has to, how you say, condition his body for the art of violence and combat. So you could honestly understand and really don't have to suspend that much of disbelief when it comes to him performing these feats of strength, endurance, and more importantly, just overall skill and explosive movement when it comes to hand-to-hand battles. So her doing the exact same thing when we have little to nothing to indicate that, it kind of just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and it kind of makes me feel like, yeah, they just wanted to reason to shove in a female face in this action-oriented role, even though, yeah, the likelihood of her doing at least some of these feats leave very little to be desired. But then again, she is not the main character, so I can brush it aside. For the most part, I did want to point it out anyway and just give my thoughts on it. They have some interesting choices in, the character deaths in the movie. One in particular was, again, our protagonist's friend, one of obviously not native to American descent. I can't put my finger on what he is. I don't have time to Google it. Obviously, I'll put something in on the screen to fill this time and this void with some bit of information pertaining to this guy's character. But yeah, flamboyant sidekick, he gets earthed and murked, for lack of a better term. And honestly, I did enjoy Hemsworth's performance in showing the grief. And yeah, I don't know, the female actress in this movie, I think she was okay, to be honest with you. Like, she was fine. Like, even her grieving scene, Yeah, it's fine. She has a very ugly crying face though. Again, no hate, but just saying, not. I don't know. Let me just stop. Let me get off her tip for someone claim I'm being misogynistic or whatever by getting on her too much, even though she's not even the point of the movie, but whatever. Let's continue. So Hemsworth tries to have a heart-to-heart with one of the people he is charged to protect, and there is a 180 plot twist when it came to the young man betraying Hemsworth's character for his own maniacal father. And of course, it is very realistic and it makes sense onto why this would play out. Obviously, it is still the boy's father, and he has a deeper past one that is alluded to in their little end of their discussion, end of their scene together. And I think it's very interesting that they play on that and they don't try to paint the child as this malicious person for doing what he did, but they do have to keep moving to keep the lives of everyone else safe that this boy has put in danger or put at risk. As I said in the beginning of the video, I haven't seen the Extraction franchise, now that I can call it that. I haven't seen it in a while since the first one, so a lot of the information is more or less like deja vu whenever they give me information of the previous movies or previous events in the later installments or the previous installments. So it just feels kind of weird, you know? It feels like I'm waking up after a dream. You can partially recollect it, and at the same time, you partially cannot remember half of anything that happened within that movie or dream. So, for lack of a better term, I was more or less going in with very middle of the ground expectations. And honestly, I got a pretty good, enjoyable movie out of it. Honestly, that's just my general thoughts on it. I think it's enjoyable. If I had to give it a solid ranking, as far as like a number, I give it a solid 7.8, if I'm being honest with you. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It didn't blow me out of the water or anything, but I did enjoy the watch. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.